Good morning. Peace and love, everyone. Thanks for being here live and by recording. Sure appreciate it. We're going to be talking about Julian of Norwich again. Norwich again. This same themes keep popping up again and again in the mystical literature, and that's part of the reason why we're talking about it here continually. We're going to hear one of those themes today. So welcome and thanks for being here, because when two or more are gathered, there's a greater presence of the divine energy, and our meditations are deeper. I think I'll turn down this outside mic today. A lot of traffic out there. So Julian of Norwich. Julian of Norwich. See, in Massachusetts, we say Norwich, but Julian of Norwich, circa 1342 to sometime after 1416, was an English anchoress, meaning she was attached to a church, and a mystic who lived in this cell that was physically attached to a church in the town of Norwich. And although we know very little about her secular life, recent scholarly study suggests that she may have had connections to the Benedictine community of Carow Abbey near Norwich, due to the sophisticated theological and scriptural fluency that's evident in her writings. That's according to Watson and Jenkins in the writings of Julian of Norwich, published a decade and a half ago. A lesser known detail is that Julian refers to herself as a simple creature unlettered, in the prologue to her Revelations of Divine Love. And that's a traditional sign of humility. However, if you read her, her familiarity with Latin and theological depth suggests otherwise. Some scholars now believe that she may have received some training in Latin and theology from a monastic tutor, maybe from the church she was attached to. But it indirectly indicates that there was a permeability of monastic boundaries for devout laywomen, because Julian was not a nun in the traditional sense. She was a laywoman who had the mystical experience during the late medieval ages, as I understand it. So here's her quote today. Oh, good morning, Judith. Here's her quote today. Julian writes, "Between God and the soul, there is no between. Between God and the soul, there is no between." Julian's declaration emerges from the heart of her mystical experience, recorded after her shewings, shewings, her visions. She called them showings, her visions in the 1373, maybe. In this brief yet profound line, she expresses the centrality of Christian mysticism, and really, actually, all global mysticism, East and West. The absolute, with a capital A, is unmediated, has an unmediated intimacy between the human soul and the divine. In mystical theology and elsewhere in the Christian West, Sufism, in Sufism, let's just say, the true union with the divine is not achieved. The true union with the divine isn't achieved through any sort of external intermediaries or belief. It's not the church, it's not the Bible, it's not some cleric. Instead, it's an inward awakening, a direct knowing, or as William James talked about it, a noetic understanding, permanently installed in the soul. Whether we choose to access it or not, that's another question. But it's permanently there. Julian of Norwich affirms this when she writes that there's no between. There's really no veil, no barrier, no separation. There's only an appearance of this distance created by, our incarnation and the whole universe, but also by our fears, offenses, and this illusion of separation. Her experience resonates with Meister Eckhart's teaching, oft repeated here, The eye within the eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me. Both mystics describe this unity that's so profound that the self and the beloved share the same ground of being, which is a term that Meister Eckhart began to use. The ground of being, which was later picked up by lots of Christian mystics, and they might refer to it as the groundless ground. The groundless ground sounds paradoxical. Well, yes, it's a phrase that Jacob Boehme, another layperson who was a cobbler, um, a mystic, he used it. Jacob Boehme used it to specify a source beyond conceptual grasp, beyond our imagination, beyond even metaphysical containment. A reality without a why or a because or even a how or a what, because it's beyond being itself. This actually got Mr. Eckhart in some pretty serious trouble. Julian counters the hierarchical theology of her time. Mystics often do. The medieval church often emphasized, as some modern churches do, sin, guilt, and ecclesiastical mediation. You need the priests, you need the reverends, you need the sacraments as necessary to bridge this gap between source and the soul. However, Julian in her revelations consistently portrays the beloved as unconditionally loving, compassionate, and already indwelling in our souls the goodness that Mary talks about in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. The good is in the goodness that's inside us, in our original blessedness, our original goodness. It's indwelling in the soul. There's no between. She writes, our soul is so fully oned, O-N-E-D. She makes the oneness into a verb. Our soul is so fully oned to God that between God and the soul, there may be right naught. N-O-U-G-H-T, naught. There's nothing between the soul and God. That makes them what? The same. And that is from her long text, chapter 56. And I have sources for everything that I say here. So it's not like it's like I'm trying to find the truth by using uh, sources. I have source material if anybody's ever interested in it. This quote it's an existential quote. There's nothing between God and us, a God in our souls. It's experiential. Julian's vision offers um, this idea, this understanding, this grasp, a non-grasping grasp, in which the soul, in its deepest nature, its ground of being, in the center of the self, already abides in the ineffable. And this is what I saw in my near-death experience. There's no ladder to climb. There's no distance from God to win over you. There's just no distance. There's really no veil to tear aside. The only veil is within us. There's this space between us. If we just get out of the way, then the light shines of its own accord. In light of near-death experiences and other mystical states, spiritually transformative awakenings, those things, this teaching feels intimately familiar. Way back centuries ago, the same experience across the world. Those who've touched that boundless presence or been touched by that boundless presence, might be a better way to put it, often speak of union or communion, of light, of unconditional love without boundary or barrier. No in between. Julian's words affirm this interior knowing, this noetic understanding. Our essence and the beloved's essence, they're never separate. It's immanent and transcendent. It's immanent and intimate. And only I'm in the way. Only you are in the way. It's never really separate. And you'll see this for yourself. I can make that promise because in death, which really isn't real either, it's just a transition from this world to light energy to your higher self, however you want to phrase that metaphor. You'll see for yourself that your very essence and energy, the presence of your life itself as a soul, emanates from the Creator and is in essence an aspect of the Creator. I evaluate Anne in Ireland. Welcome. Thanks for being here this morning, everyone. We've got about 20 minutes. So I've been leading you into a little bit of a meditation from each of these talks that we've been giving. That's a new thing I've been trying to do with you guys. If you like it, let me know. If you just want to do your own meditation, that's totally cool. I usually move from whatever I say here in meditation into my own meditation anyway. You do the same. There's no requirement. But let's settle in here. And if you're brand new to meditation, it's very simple. Inward breath through the nose, outward breath through the nose. If your nose is clear, if not, use your mouth. Sitting straight, feet flat on the floor, hands either on your lap or, in some kind of shape like this, a mudra, a hand shape. And breathe into your belly. Long, slow breath. Using a chant, using your prayer. Exhale through your nose, long and slow. Always use your breath. You can listen to your breath. Feel it. Use your chant. I use the Jesus prayer. People use Om. Use whatever you wish. So let's settle into some stillness. Take a belly breath. Pause. Let it out. Take another. Slowing down, let your face relax and your shoulders drop. Turn your awareness inward. Beneath your thoughts, beneath your beliefs. Julian wrote, "Between God and the soul there is no between, no distance, no veil, no obstacle, only love, always present. Love always present." Breathe into that knowing. You're not separate. You never were. Peace, everyone.